On the home front, a growing number of Americans say they want to see tighter restrictions on immigration. A Harvard-Harris poll shows a majority of people support President Trump's plan for a border wall, limits to family chain migration, and an end to the diversity visa lottery. And most of those polls said they'd like to see the number of immigrants allowed into the United States annually cut in half, from more than 1 million to about 500,000 each year. The survey did not address the issue of refugees. A New York Christian college believes refugees should be given a chance to succeed in the United States and be introduced to the gospel. Well, joining us now with more is Professor Cameron Airhart. He's director of the refugee program at Houghton College. Professor Airhart, I'm assuming the college views that it has an opportunity with these refugees, so what are you doing?
Well, we're taking residents who live here on the west side of Buffalo and have been coming to Buffalo since about the year 2000 and have been admitted into the United States after very stringent kinds of background checks and come from war-torn countries where they were facing real persecution and have come here to the west side of Buffalo and are making new lives for themselves and are bringing life and vitality to our city. We noticed that after completing high school, these students needed something else to do before entering the workforce. And so we came into their community and have started an Associate of Arts degree directly aimed at them in order that they can get ready for the workforce.
Well, what can you tell us about them? Where are they coming from? What have they experienced in life?
Well, they come from about 15 different countries right now. We have a student body here that's about 55 in our micro campus in their neighborhood. And they come from around the world, Southeast Asia, for instance, Burma. We have a large contingent from Burma, African countries. They are the children usually of their parents, that is, who fled. Their average stay in the country is about 5 years. They've finished in American high schools, in our local Buffalo high schools. Many of them arrived here with no English at all, managed to get through high school, and are remarkable young people who have, some of them, quite harrowing stories to tell.
Well, tell us about one of them you've met. What can you share with us?
Well, I think of a young man originally from the Cameroon who ended up in the Congo and had his village destroyed by the Lord's Resistance Army. And as a young boy fled, escaped from his village and fled with a group of other young men. Now I'm talking 12-year-olds.
And Buffalo, boy, I bet he's having a hard time adjusting to the snow in the winter there if he's from Cameroon.
Yeah, some of them do, although our snow and cold weather is greatly exaggerated, I must say.
How about the biblical message?
Sharing the gospel with them is really quite easy. What I mean is that it's easy to share the gospel when you actually act like the gospel directs you. We are principally performative Christians here. We're doing the kinds of things that Jesus told us to do. And that's our greatest message.
Well, and I know a lot of Christians actually struggle with the whole immigration debate. There's a lot of debate going on right now about immigration in the country. And what should our role be? What do you think it should be, and what should be done?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm quite in favor of immigration, but actually that's not what we're talking about today. Refugees are a very separate discussion from immigration. So our normal refugee intake was about 70,000. That's probably, President Obama wanted to beef that up for a while to 110, and this year we're going to admit about 50,000. In other words, 1,000 people per state. That's not very many, particularly since worldwide we have the greatest refugee crisis we've ever had since World War II. We have 60 million refugees in this country, or pardon me, in this world, and the United States will take between 50 and 70,000 of them. That is not a problem for our economy, and it's not a problem for assimilation. It is a deep American value to help. everything from the displaced persons programs after the Second World War, etc. So immigration is a separate discussion from how one handles refugees, who are truly people in great, great need.
Well, listen, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. Stay in touch with us. We want to see how your program progresses and how well some of those students do. We'd like to meet some of them eventually. So thank you so much, Professor Airhart, for joining us today.
Thank you, Gary. Bye-bye.